Well, here we are today at the shop looking at pink subwoofers. I think some of you ladies need to come down or men need to come down and buy that, so I don't have to look at it anymore. No, it's beautiful, really cool subwoofer and amp. Those are used and you could probably get them for a really cool price. But more importantly, today I'm working on a Takamine. We're thinking early 70s, probably a 71, 72, sometime in there. This is a Japanese-made Takamine, made by the Samick guitar company, or guitar manufacturing company. This one was manufactured in Japan, near as we can tell. It's got some replacement machine heads that somebody has changed out on this guitar, I think, from the originals. Missing a nut, and it's got the old lawsuit Martin headstock. Really cool guitar that we're working on today. I'm just kind of got started cleaning up the fretboard, and I wanted to stop and shoot a little video of it before and after, and kind of get an idea of how ugly and dirty this fretboard is. So we're cleaning that. I've already checked the truss rod up inside here, and truss rod does its job. So we're going to get going on this. I'm going to have to manufacture a nut for this guy. I'll probably use bone material to build that, and we'll find a perfect one that fits perfectly, and get that going. So just thought I'd show you before I get started, or during the start of this project. So hang in there. Alright, so I've cleaned off the fretboard and gotten all the guck off of it, and that piece of wood looks really nice now. So what I'm going to do now, before doing any work on the nut, we are going to go with a bone nut, and I'll have to build one for this, and I have the proper files and such to build one, and the measuring device to space the strings correctly. But what I'm going to do now is go ahead and do a crown job on these frets. They're not worn bad enough that I need to do a whole fret level. They're in pretty good shape. There's a couple of small divots here that I can take care of with a wonderful fret file. So hang in there, I'll be back. These things are going to look beautiful. Well, here we are back at the shop, and I have crowned these frets, polished these frets, cleaned the fretboard, and oiled the fretboard. And look at that thing. And it's quite a contrast to what it looked like when I first started working on it. The other thing I discovered that in the case was the original nut for this guitar. And you can see a little residue here. This is from the oil that I put on the neck. I kind of did that before I oiled or glued the nut into place. And yes, I did use a little bit of glue on that. It needs it. And I'm not going to tell you what kind of glue I used. I will just say this, that it's not super glue. You should never use super glue on a nut. That's just dumb. So, the guitar is looking really good. I'm going to let this sit overnight and let the glue cure on the nut, and I have it positioned perfectly. And it looks really good. It feels real comfortable. But the guitar is really coming together. And I have a little bit more cleanup to do. I'm going to go ahead and polish the body, knock all the dust off of this, probably pull the saddle out of here and check the pickup, make sure that's all looking good. This does have electronics in it, and we'll go from there. But there it is, and we'll be back shortly with strings and setup. The truss rod's working good in this thing too, so real happy. Great guitar. If you couldn't afford a Martin, well, this wouldn't have been a bad one to get. And they got sued over that headstock right there from Martin. So they can't make them like that anymore. They looked identical to a Martin. So that's that. My apprentice. Well, day 2 on the old Takamine, and again, I've cleaned it and all that. And today I've given it a good polish and cleaned up the body. Got rid of some white marks that were on the back of it using some polish. But we also discovered that there was a part missing out of this guitar up here. You'll notice the battery cable coming out of here to hold for the preamp in this guitar. There was a part that was mounted up in the near the neck block up here in the front, and there's a part missing, the battery holder that actually you put the 9-volt in, then you snap it in, and that part mounted to that block right there. We had to pull that out, and we're using, here's the old piece. The 9-volt was supposed to attach to that, but there's a part that's missing from this location. So we pulled that out and are using a Velcro block to, or a Velcro bracket to mount the battery on the inside of the guitar. But the electronics work in this great. It sounded really nice. All the controls work perfectly. So we're going to put the Velcro in there and get the battery mounted and string it up. So, I know that was a nice boring shot of the inside of a guitar. How you like that? But the guitar looks great. And again, on the back of this thing, there was a bunch of white guck on the back here. And I failed to show a video of that, but I got rid of it. So, the Takamine is close to being done. We'll be back with strings and tuning. Well, here we are back with the Takamine. This guitar was built on October 6th, 1981, and further inspection I found a stamp on the bracing on the inside of this guitar that shows the manufacture date, which is kind of cool. But just to testify to the kind of work that we have to do at times on these guitars, we made a bag for the battery, the 9-volt. It's a little Velcro bag, and you'll notice it's Velcro all the way around. And we've affixed a opposing type of Velcro on the interior on the neck block in here. And so the battery can be changed very easily and fastened to the inside of the guitar. Just like that. And the battery's in there. The cable's all hidden away. You just tuck the cable back up in there. Done. And there's where his battery sits, if you can see that down in there. So kind of a ingenious way of doing that. I got to thank my partner in crime, Stu Hensley, for that wonderful idea. Sometimes we got to get a little creative. I'm going to finish stringing this baby up. Really excited about it. Cool guitar. Really cool guitar.